This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so these principles, education and awareness building, athletes have a choice and are trained in the knowledge and skills to be successful, which is that training component. And then we have the leadership opportunities. So opportunities for meaningful leadership roles throughout the organization and community for people with intellectual disabilities. So now we're going to really dive deep into each principle and why it's important for us to know those things. So let's have, I'm just going to pick people to start reading the screen. So bear with me. If you choose to opt out, that's totally fine. I'm also going to choose on mentors as well to read. So everyone be on your toes. So number 1, I am going to have Kyle. Would you like to read number 1, please? Let me, there you go.
Oh, sorry, Nancy. My bad.
Oh, no worries. Go ahead, Kyle, take it away.
Education and awareness building through unified leadership approach.
Awesome, thanks, Kyle. How about you, Lindsay? Can you take away number 2?
Athletes have a choice in how and where they lead in Special Olympics.
And then number 3, can we have you read that, Joe?
Can you
There you
hear
go,
me?
Joe. Yes, I can hear you.
Did you hear the first part or not?
I didn't. Can you repeat it?
Okay. Create meaningful positions of implication and leadership throughout the organization and community for people with in
Yep.
intelligible disabilities.
Great. Thanks, Joe. Well done,
Welcome.
everyone. Okay. Whoops, I skipped one. Education awareness building. So this is done through unified leadership. So get used to that word, everyone. Unified leadership, unified leadership, unified leadership. Unified leadership is an approach to developing our leaders. It educates leaders of all abilities to value and learn from each other, and to create environments where people with intellectual disabilities succeed in meaningful roles and jobs. And so that's part of the training opportunity, is us all learning together. We have the opportunity just to listen and learn from each other's experiences and also spend time together. So this first principle is that education awareness building. The definition of unified leadership. Would anyone like to take a stab of what unified leadership might look like or what it means? Anyone? Anna, how about you?
Oh, okay. My guess is for people without and with disabilities, right? And just be leaders.
Very good, Anna. Yep, that's exactly right. Unified leadership teaches leaders of all abilities to value and learn from each other, to inspire change and create environments where people with ID, intellectual disabilities, succeed in meaningful jobs and roles.
Huh.
I know,
so is
right?
that like
See,
working at soup and such?
Yeah, that's an example. So part of unified leadership is getting the word out about Special Olympics and about how our mission is so impactful and how our athletes are wonderful and how many opportunities there are for community inclusion. So the more and more we're able to share about our mission and get out in the community, more businesses and organizations are going to know the benefits of unified leadership. So
That's true. Cats for a Cause. Riley, my Eagle Mount volunteer, who's, by the way, a really good snowboarder. Long story short, it's pretty cool because she used to be the president of this club called Cats for a Cause at MSU College, and they get college kids to come help and volunteer for Special Olympics, and they had their own team, and they had to try to have frat competitions for raise the most money.
Absolutely, and that's a great example of unified leadership right there. Thanks, Anna, and thanks, Riley, for all you did with Cats for a Cause. So we appreciate it. Okay, so would anyone like to read that definition of unified leadership? I'm going to pick on a mentor here. Mary, go ahead and read that for us.
Okay. Built for sport, unified leadership teaches leaders of all abilities to value and learn from each other, to inspire change, to create environments where people with ID succeed in meaningful jobs and roles.
Great, thanks, Mary. Okay, so can anyone tell me about a time that you have seen unified leadership take place in your area? Anna
I'll
already
go.
gave us one example. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
We had some tech students come and help us with basketball.
That's awesome. That's a great example. And
Uh,
were they part of that really cool Montana Tech video?
I'm
They
not
were
sure.
okay, because there was a really cool video that I saw with some of the basketball team come help out. So that's really cool. Thanks for sharing, Joe. Does anyone else have another example of unified leadership in your area? Go ahead, DJ. Oh, wait 1 second. Let me unmute you. Let's see. There we go. There we go.
Help me out
At work.
at work.
Hi.
Sorry, DJ, say that last part again.
Jamie, help me out
At work.
at work.
Your boss.
My boss.
That's great, DJ. Where do you work?
Cut an IJ store.
That's awesome. That's so important to have that leadership where you're able to rely on someone.
Let me help to do pancake for breakfast out.
Yes, can everyone hear DJ? I just went through to mute everyone to make sure that we could hear DJ. So your boss helps you out at your job.
Yep.
You're muted.
That's how does he help you?
What does he do for you?
A nice boss.
He helps you when you have a question.
Yep.
That's awesome. And he's a nice boss. I have a very nice boss too. So nice bosses are extra wonderful to have for sure. That's great. Well, you probably have multiple examples of unified leadership in action, and unified leadership is not a standalone program, and it's delivered through Special Olympics sports, health, youth, and leadership work. And so this is a new concept that I've literally been waiting for this whole time that I've been working with Special Olympics, which has only been a year, but I was waiting for this new curriculum, and this is what Special Olympics North America came out with, is this idea of unified leadership. So we really want the movement to be athlete-led, and this is the idea of becoming a more athlete-driven organization is through unified leadership. But the cool thing is we'll have more opportunities to discuss unified leadership, and there's actually an additional training that you can take in unified leadership if you choose to go that route and training in the future. So stay tuned for more information regarding that. So we have another training principle here that Ellen was able to share with us earlier, and the second one is just training. So who would like to go ahead and read this part? Who haven't I picked on yet? Oh, Nick, I was gonna pick you anyway, so thanks for offering. Go ahead, Nick, take it away.
Athletes have a choice in how and where they lead in Special Olympics. They need to be trained in the knowledge and skills to be successful in whatever they choose.
Exactly. That's what we want to do. We want to provide those opportunities, and you guys should have the opportunities to have a choice. And so when you guys were first nominated as athlete ambassadors, we try to give you that option of, okay, do you want to focus and specialize in health messenger? Do you want to focus as an athlete input council member, or do you want to be a development messenger? So you definitely have the right to choose how you want to contribute, and you must receive the necessary training in order to be successful in these meaningful leadership roles. And so that's why we have to put you in training before you're able to really just go out in the community more. We want to make sure that you're trained and you're equipped to talk about our mission and reach those in the community that aren't aware of our wonderful mission. So a few questions for you all. Has anyone ever assigned you a role that you did not want to do? Show of hands. Yeah. I remember growing up, my mom would sometimes make me clean the bathrooms, and that was definitely a role that I didn't always want to have. Can someone give me an example of a role that someone gave you that you didn't necessarily want?
Cleaning my bathroom.
Exactly, Nick. I hear you, cleaning your bathroom. It's a very important role, though, because you need to have good hygiene and make sure your space is clean and taken care of, but that's never a really fun one, right? Hillary, want to try talking and see if it works this time? Okay, well, at least we can see your face. And if you're on your computer, you can use the chat bar to share with us, Hillary. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Alrighty, who haven't I chosen in a while? Let's see. Would anyone like to volunteer and share a role that they were assigned that they didn't feel like was their most favorite role?
Dishes. I always got stuck doing the dishes.
Good example, Mary. That's another one for sure. Great. Alrighty. How about, has anyone ever told you what sport you were going to play? Lindsay's shaking her head there. Anyone else?
No.
No.
No, that's good. Glad to hear it, Jamie. I remember in high school, my soccer coach really wanted me to continue to play soccer, but I really wanted to be able to run track. And so my soccer coach was pretty much like, you have to continue to play soccer if you want to improve and play in college. So that was something hard at the time that I necessarily didn't want to hear. So yeah, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute everyone again. Okay, so choice might be something as simple as choosing which sport you want to do, or it might be choosing to take on a new challenge, like becoming an assistant coach or committee member. Would someone like to share a choice they made at home, work, or school? So tonight we're just going to focus on having a choice. It's super important for you guys to have opportunities to share your choices. And so who wants to be bold and share a time they had to make a choice?
You have to make a choice between. Jamie has a
a response for that.
Go ahead, Jamie.
You had to make a choice between working in the bakery
I work in the bakery
or in the produce
or
department.
the produce department.
Which one did you like better?
Bakery.
So he chose to work in the bakery over the produce department.
That's awesome, Jamie. Was that a tough decision for you?
No, it's not tough. Just going, everything's going on there and do right here.
You liked the bakery.
I like the bakery because they're all my friends from all my co-workers.
That's fantastic. I love to hear it. Thanks, Jamie. Would anyone else like to share a choice that they had to make at home, work, or school? Patrick, how about you?
Well, I had to make a choice about being volunteered to make the plastic bill, which is outside the back door of work, and got it put in the baler, and it is wet and muddy on the bottom. Yeah, so yeah.
So that had been a tough decision for you too, to take one for the team, right?
Yeah, get all that mud on me.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, okay, you say so.
Alrighty, so would someone like to share a choice you made about your participation in Special Olympics? Did someone have to choose to not participate in a sport to do another one, or anything along those lines?
Oh, I have one. One time my coach made me do the 200-meter race, and FYI, I will run for a sandwich 100 meters or a donut, but 200 is just a little too much. But I sucked it up and did it just to make him happy, because he's like, I think you would really excel at it. But at least I tried, but it was not my favorite choice in the world.
That is a great example, Anna. I love it. I would definitely run for a sandwich too, for sure.
Oh yeah, and Doritos.
Oh,
or a taco.
Tacos are pretty great. Okay, so would anyone else like to share a choice they had to make about Special Olympics? How about you, Kyle? Did you ever have to make a tough choice with Special Olympics?
I didn't make a tough choice with that.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that then. Good, good, good. Alrighty, okay. So, thanks everyone for your brain power and just willingness to talk openly. I think this is super great for us to just get to know each other more and just pick our brains and help this training go smoothly. So I really appreciate it. As a movement that is led with and by athletes, athlete choices and their interests should be driving our local, state, national, and international strategic direction. So for example, a decision on whether to add a new sport should be made based on athlete interest in that sport. So without input from our athletes, how are we supposed to create better programs? And so that's part of this training, is to give you opportunities to share your voices, and so we can get feedback from you all, hear your voices, hear your opinions, so then we can take it to our leadership team, who can share that information, so then we can be a more athlete-led movement. So it's super exciting stuff, and it gets me so just so excited for the future for you all and the future of Special Olympics. So this next principle here, we talked about 2 already, and now we're going to hop on to the guiding principles of athlete leadership. So this is just a graphic of the new curriculum that Special Olympics North America put out. And so we're in the core module of Introduction to Athlete Leadership. So as you can see, there's tons and tons of more things to learn, but it's going to be super great, because once you're actually through this process, you're going to be a certified athlete leader, which is going to be amazing. And then there's different specialties that you can really focus in on, and yeah, just take it to your areas in that way. But it's very important that anyone in a leadership role receive the necessary training to be successful at that role. So for instance, when I had this new job with Special Olympics Montana, I had to go through training to make sure I knew what was going on. That includes athlete leaders. So training is definitely important to make everyone successful. Special Olympics offers an extensive leadership and skills training to prepare you all for those leadership roles. So for instance, those for development messengers, this is going to help prepare you to be a better development messengers. For those in the Athlete Input Council, it's just going to prepare you to be better involved in the Athlete Input Council. So many of these are offered through your program, but you can also access additional topics online. So if anyone would be interested in looking into those, just let me know and I can make sure you get those links. But there are 3 categories in this curriculum, and this is important because we're focusing on these guiding principles of athlete leadership. So the first lesson, we talked about our mission and why it's important to share a mission and know the ins and outs of our mission. And now we're talking about those guiding principles of athlete leadership. So it's really important to understand why you need to get trained in these things, and more about the curriculum, about what you're going to be trained in. So there are leadership courses, as you can see here. There's Special Olympics roles and personal and professional development. So as you can see, it's kind of broken up by color there. You have the red and the burgundy, which are the learning modules and the education. Then you have the Special Olympic roles, which are the core modules. So there's different opportunities for our athletes to really specialize in those. And then you have the personal and professional growth module, which is the personal skills, professional skills. So some of those personal skills look like learning to regulate emotions, learning to budget, learning to just take care of yourself in hygiene, things like that. So it's very important stuff, and I'm super excited to be able to continuously share with you all about it. But in the meantime, it's just a lot of building blocks and just understanding the basics of what athlete leadership is. So now to dive into the third principle here, leadership positions. Would anyone want to take a stab at reading this paragraph? Any volunteers? I believe in you.
Nancy, I'll read it. This is Star. Leadership positions create meaningful positions of influence and leadership throughout the organization and community for people with intellectual disabilities. The organization will become athlete-led, where athletes help determine policy, set direction, and lead programming. That's pretty powerful right there.
Most definitely. Exactly. And with this new curriculum in place and with you guys being actually trained in this, you're going to be able to take it to the field and you're going to help us determine big steps in our mission. And it's going to be athlete led, which is very, very important. That's what we want to see. So, yeah. So does anyone have an example when they have suggested something to their program or when they were part of an important change in the organization?
A few years ago, I was at the state PA conference with former VP of Development Tom Frigarelli, and on the way to Billings, he asked me who to talk to about starting a campaign that has been very successful. And so I told him a name that he could talk to in Billings and that started the programs that is going on right now called Turkey Bucks. And then it grew to the corporate office, and we have our campaign on disabilities through Albertsons.
Look at that, Patrick. That is a wonderful example. I love it. I'm so glad you shared that example for us. Does anyone have another example when they were able to suggest something and it worked for them? Looks like we have some chat things going on. Okay. Anna says, good job, Patrick. I agree. Great job, Patrick. Yep, and so by providing you guys the resources and opportunities to just get together, share ideas and things, that's only gonna be better, and we're gonna get more and more examples of how your voices can be shared to impact our mission directly. So it's super exciting. Meaningful roles can be at the local, regional, national, and international level. As we talked through the last training, we're international movement, a global movement, and so that's important to keep in mind. So whether you're leading an event in your organization, you're out in a community, or even involved at the international level, we want you to be a positive influence in helping to make Special Olympics a better place for everyone. So this means finding what is meaningful for you, which may not be the same thing for someone else. So it matters what you guys bring to the table, big or small. Everyone has his or own leadership style and how they want to contribute. So for instance, we have some athlete ambassadors who don't feel comfortable hopping on technology and sharing. So we're exploring other avenues and providing them additional opportunities to get trained because they don't feel comfortable with technology. So that's just an example because their leadership style is just a little bit different than everyone else's. So let's think about a specific role like an event coordinator. So an event coordinator, what do you think an event coordinator would do in the local area? Anyone want to share their brain power?
Jamie will share something.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Spring area games for Special Olympics, because I do powerlifting.
No, spring area games is what he said, Nancy. Event coordinator for spring area games.
Exactly. Thanks, Jamie and Star. Yeah, so that's a great example. So you're going to have a event coordinator plan area spring games. So how many opportunities can you think of at a local competition? So how many different events happen at, say, area spring games for you guys? Go ahead and type them in the chat as well if you want to do it that way. So how many different opportunities can you think of, or how many different events happen at a local competition?
Depends on the area, really.
Wait, is that like opening and closing games, or are you talking about like swimming, soccer, or cycling?
Everything, Anna. How many different
gosh, so like
events happen?
46. Maybe like 30.
Nick says 6. It looks like we're having... Looks like we're having some background noise. Okay, so we're getting a few answers. We have about 30. Okay, that's a common there, is 30. Yeah, I actually don't know the answer, so that was kind of an open-ended question on my end.
But whoever said it depends on the size of the area and what they choose to do. For example, we have a dance, we have a pizza party, we have, of course, all the events. We have to find volunteers for all these events. We have to have volunteers to run the games. So probably even more than 30. But really depends on how much you're doing for the area games.
That is very true, Star. Thank you so much. Star is a infamous competition coordinator and has helped run the area games for years and years. So that's definitely great information that she shared. So, and great chatting, everyone. Those are some great examples as well in the chat box. So I love it. But as you know, it takes lots and lots of people to plan different events. And so, and they have meaningful roles in their area. Alrighty. So I can think of some additional roles here. So just recruiting volunteers, like Star was saying, preparing PowerPoints for volunteer trainings. Patrick was able to prepare a PowerPoint. So if anyone needs help with PowerPoints, I'm sure Patrick could help you out with that. Just coordinating social media, leading in and opening closing ceremonies, like Anna said, greeting people upon arrival. So those are just examples of additional roles that our athletes can engage in. So there are many ways athlete leaders can contribute in meaningful roles. How many other ways can you think of for athlete leaders to participate in Special Olympics? So besides competitions, what are some ways that you think our athlete leaders can participate in Special Olympics? Go ahead.
The torch run.
Absolutely, Anna. I love
Plunge,
it.
selling Special Olympic raffle tickets. And also, if you're a global messenger and someone says, hey, do you want to go speak at this event or something like that? Like, I got to carry in a fake torch at the press conference. It was very exciting, even though I was hoping it was a real one, but it was still very fun. But things like that, just saying yes.
I love it, Anna.
We have a good example too.
Go ahead, Kyle. I'd love to hear it.
The Youth Activation Committee is another one.
Ding, 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 ding. Exactly. Can you share with me what the Youth Activation Committee is?
It's a committee of athletes that get together and talk about leadership and kind of inclusion.
Exactly, Kyle. That is so true. Yep. The YAC for short, YAAC. Another acronym there, Lindsay, for you to learn. Youth Activation Committee is a great example of how athlete leaders can participate in the Special Olympics. Great. I love those answers. So,
and isn't there babies that do it?
Actually, yeah, good call, Anna. So technically they're toddlers, but their emotional skills are like babies, because I can personally attest to that, because I have a 2-year-old and he does not act like a 2-year-old all the time. But anyways, we do have a young athletes program, and that's a program available for athletes who are 2 to 7. So great call, Anna. Yeah. So what areas of Special Olympics are you guys interested in?
Attention, do you have Medicare? Did you know that you may qualify to get up to $144 added back to your Social Security check every month?
Oh, sorry, I just muted everyone because I was hearing some TV. Was that Nick talking?
No, I like basketball, I like swimming, I like running, I like all different kind of things, bowling. All of the above, really.
Awesome, thanks, Ellen.
Of course, singing along. And of course, being with my family too. So.
Oh, that's super important. I love it. Thanks, Ellen. Okay, Joe. Okay, Joe, were you gonna say something?
No, I was talking to my dad.
Okay. Hi, Joe's dad.
No.
Say something. Say something.
No, I don't know what else to say.
Okay, so what areas of Special Olympics are you interested in? I would love to hear at least 2 more people share.
But I would
of Special Olympics, being able to talk to businesses, to talk to other organizations that don't know about Special Olympics, and thanking them for all their work and all their things they have done. As the development team, we pride ourselves in trying to raise funds and have fundraising events like the Polar Plunge and the raffle ticket sales to promote and to be able to continue to support Special Olympics Montana through the next years to come.
Very good, Patrick. I love that thoughtful answer. Thank you. Thank you. How about anyone else? Does anyone else want to share other ways you can think of for athlete leaders to participate in Special Olympics? Or what areas of Special Olympics are you interested in?
DJ,
I
like
will.
say something.
Okay, go ahead, DJ.
Do it to torch one.
That is a great example.
Yep.
Thanks, DJ.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Awesome. Okay, so organization shift here. Would anyone like to take the lead on the first bullet there? Would anyone if I could talk, sorry. If anyone would like to read the first one, that'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate it.
I will.
Awesome, thanks, Nick.
Okay, focus shifted to one of the respected for athletes, their experience, and their potential to develop their abilities even further.
Awesome, I love it. Thanks, Nick. Okay, how about the next one? Who wants to take that away? Joe? There you go.
Ideals, programs, leaders need to listen to ideals of athletes and make them part of the process.
Exactly. Thanks, Joe. Awesome.
Now she's mute.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thanks, Karen, for pointing that out. So the athlete leadership principles are very important, and when effectively working together, increase the number of opportunities for athletes in leadership roles. So let's take a look at this change and reflect on how you have experienced it. So the growth of the Special Olympics movement is shifting from providing a service to athletes to one of partnership with their athletes. So if you look at this graphic here, it was the first picture here. So it was focusing on for you athletes, but now it's going to come alongside with our athletes, and then it'll be led by our athletes. And so I just really want you guys to really focus on that we want this movement to be an athlete-led movement. So that is the organization shift that is happening and is super exciting. So the shift has to come from leaders and volunteers seeing and believing in the things that the athlete leaders can do. So the fact that we have several mentors on this call is completely wonderful, because you're going to be able to help your athletes process this as well and just understand that it takes unified leadership to make this happen. And so it's changed the way people look at it and perceive our athletes. And so this shift is super important to focus on, because this is the way of the movement that is moving. And so at the beginning, people often did things for athletes. This means that we would do whatever they thought was best for the athlete without much input. So in other words, an athlete may have skills, but they are not provided with the opportunity to contribute. So take a moment to think about a time when you experienced something being done for you, but you thought you were capable of doing it yourself. How did that make you feel? Would anyone like to share? I'll repeat it again because it was a long one. So take a moment to think about a time when you experienced something being done for you, but you thought you were capable of doing it yourself.
Believe it or not, when I was younger, I used to have a really hard time with like finishing my sentences, and because now you can't get me to be quiet because I like to talk, but a lot of times, or I'd just get lost in a conversation, and then a lot of times my mom would just finish what I was saying, and it would really drive me crazy. So sometimes it just like took me a while to like get to the answer, but then like I knew what I was saying, but then she just like finished it for me.
Anna, that is a fantastic answer. Thanks for sharing that. That is.
And also, I have to tell you something exciting. This guy on Instagram has Down syndrome, 21 years old, named Nick. He did the full entire Ironman all by himself. How incredible is that? And so that is what I think this could be. This could be us, guys. Like, we might not be all Ironman because, oh my gosh. But it's so cool. It goes to show that you could do really anything you put your mind to.
Absolutely, Anna. I love it.
Woo!
Woo! Absolutely, I love it. Yep, exactly. And so so did that upset you when your mom would do that? When she would speak for you? Because you're like, I want to do it myself. Yeah.
Oh, and also it was like telling my story because sometimes I have a hard time telling stories in order. And sometimes my mom, I don't think she really meant to talk down to me, but like a lot of times when I went to doctor's appointments, she's just speak for me. And it just kind of made me a little upset because then it seemed like I wasn't really getting my story straight or like I know how to talk to them, but that kind of drove me crazy. But we're getting better with it. It's like explaining things, if that makes sense.
Yes, no, I totally understand. I struggle with that too. So oftentimes I tell stories with the ending at the beginning, and my friends are like, Nancy, you need to start the beginning at the beginning. So I totally understand, Anna.
Oh, that's my mom. And then I'm like, come on, I know what I'm doing. And I just want to get the point across, but it's all hard. But we got it, and it's always a work in progress.
It's so, yes, that's very good perspective to have. Thanks, Anna. Awesome. Okay, let's see what the chat bar is saying here. Thanks, Ellen and Kathy. Thanks so much for being here. It's great having you on. We appreciate it. Okay, so another thing that sometimes, I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone. So another thing that's sometimes difficult is to accept help when you need it. Does anyone else have a hard time accepting help from others? Me, I don't always like to accept help when it's offered to me. And so that's something that I'm always learning continuously. But it's important to request it and accept it when you need it. But our goal is to allow you to utilize your leadership ability to its fullest. So this next phase is this is what it's going to look like. So more recently, Special Olympics has shifted to asking athletes what should be done. This is providing the athlete with the opportunity to give input and offer suggestions. So take a moment to think about a time when you provided feedback. How did that make you feel? So for instance, tonight, when you've been able to give feedback at any point or another area of your life, how did that make you feel in the process? Who would like to take it away?
Dude, I'll say something. Oh,
go ahead,
or
Jamie.
someone else. Feedback is great if people actually take it. Like, you guys are all really good at feedback and listening, but in soccer, when I didn't play on the unified team and I played on the whole entire traditional team, it was very hard for me to have patience because there was this one player on my team and he always thought he knew everything. And anytime you try to explain something, he just like shut you out. It just kind of pissed me off. So it was very hard to explain, like, okay, listen up, I kind of know, and you can't just be a ball hog. So that's feedback.
That is feedback. That's a good example. Thanks, Anna.
Uh-huh.
I always feel strong when I can give feedback. Like I have something to contribute, which makes me feel strong and part of the team.
Exactly, Lindsay. That's true. Thank you. Anyone else want to share a time they provided feedback and how that made them feel? I know for me, sometimes meeting new people makes me very worried. And so jumping in and meeting new people and providing feedback about things that I even know about or comfortable with is sometimes really hard for me. So yeah. How about anyone else? Another example out there? I'd love to hear from anyone. All righty. Okay, so we want to continue this organization shift forward. Our goal is to continue the shift to become an organization where we work together and be a movement led by our athletes. So who was paying attention right there? Pop quiz, what was the last phrase that I said? We want to be a movement, 3-letter word, starts with L, rhymes with bread.
Led.
Led by athletes.
Led.
Very good. It looks like we do have some listeners out there. I love it. I love it. Got to keep you on your toes, everyone. Yep. So we want to be a movement led by our athletes. We envision this to be an organization where athletes are leading to their fullest ability, sharing decision power equally, receiving support when needed. So think about a time when you experienced being included in a meaningful way and had the same amount of decision-making power as others. So when you were included in a big project or a big family decision, how did that make you feel?
Wanted.
Wanted.
Valued. How did that make you?
Value.
Very good, Jamie, Star, and Nick. I love it. Wanted, valued, loved, listened, heard, understood.
Happy.
Happy, exactly.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Jamie. There's Jamie's answer.
I love it. Okay, so as you can see, our goal is to equip you with skills you need not only to take advantage of the opportunity you feel is best for you, but we also want to encourage you to lead in changing the culture and mindset of others. And so as the athlete leaders of inclusion, with athletes leading our organization, we can begin to influence others in the community to be more inclusive and create opportunities for you wonderful athletes. Woohoo! So it's definitely an organization shift that we want to become a movement led by you all. So for homework here, come prepared to share one of your greatest strengths. Once again, come prepared to share one of your greatest strengths. I'll make sure that this PowerPoint gets shared out in an email after I do the remainder of the trainings this week here. And then next steps, with myself going on maternity leave here next week, which is literally crazy that it's already here, and the holiday season with family time and just school being out and everything, we decided to take a break with the official athlete leadership training until I come back, because I'm the one that is in charge of athlete leadership training, and I'm kind of selfish because I want to make sure that I'm able to continue this process with you all. But in the meantime, I was able to reach out to the rest of the outreach department, which has some wonderful women in it. And I would love for you all to connect with your local outreach coordinator here. It looks like we have a range of outreach coordinators throughout all the state. So outreach coordinators are super part-time Special Olympics Montana employees who work anywhere between like 2 hours a week up to 15 depending on the season. And so they have very important roles. And so I've asked them to see if they would be comfortable with me sharing their information. And of course, they all were like, yes, 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 please do that. So I encourage you all during this little break of official athlete leadership training to reach out to the outreach coordinator. They're a wealth of knowledge. They want to hear from you. They want to get to know you better. For instance, Lindsay Campbell is here, and she is an athlete. She's the outreach coordinator from Five Valleys area. So Hillary, you can, I think she might have hopped off, but Hillary can reach out to her. And so take a look at this. I'll make sure you share this document, and then you have that contact information for that outreach coordinator. I know sometimes with COVID going on and everything, it can be lonely, or you just want someone to bounce ideas off of. I know Patrick has called me a few times, and so I wanted to make sure that everyone had the opportunity of having someone to reach out to when we're taking a pause with this athlete leadership training. And so this is a contact information for you. However, myself, Mandy Patriarch, which is Lindsay, and my supervisor, along with Logan Smith, are coming up with a project that you guys will be working on when I'm on maternity leave. So it's not like we're just gonna completely abandon you for 12 weeks. It's just we're gonna be taking a break from the official athlete leadership training. So that's kind of all I have for you all. I would love to take feedback or questions or anything you guys want to share for the good of the group. Take it away.
I think that's a great idea with this whole entire reaching out and not just dropping. I kind of look forward to this because it's nice to like keep touch with people, because with COVID it's been hard because you really can't see a lot of people and you kind of go work and then go home. So it's nice to see other people.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
good job.
And oh, thanks, Anna. Yeah, and so for instance, there's actually not an outreach coordinator in the Big Sky area yet. So I encourage you to reach out to Logan, Logan Smith, Anna. So I'll make sure that everyone gets this document, but reach out to Logan Smith, and maybe one of your outreach coordinators can help set up a virtual call for you guys. Even if it's in the new year, you guys could just have like a little virtual call or a happy 2021 call just to check in and see how everyone's doing. You know, have like a virtual party or virtual New Year's party. All of our outreach coordinators are super creative. So yeah, but reach out, make sure that you're aware that you're not alone, and we have great things in store for you guys. And we just really appreciate your time and your mentors' time, and just the opportunity for you guys to get trained in athlete leadership. So we're looking forward to what this means for our mission and organization, and yeah, just for it to be led by you guys. Does anyone have any questions?
How can we get World Games in Bozeman, Montana? How sick would that be?
Does anyone have any ideas to that question, Anna? Sorry, does anyone have answers to that question?
Don't all speak at once.
As a athlete of the World Games in Los Angeles, I could tell you, Bozeman is way too small for hotels and everything. Way too small.
That's
Not
true.
even Billings can handle the World Games. And that's the largest city in Montana.
Could we all go on a road trip to Florida for World Games?
Oh, in a dream world, that would be so much fun and pure chaos, but so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Let's fly. It's a really long
let's
drive.
do it. First class.
That would be a very long drive. One time I drove from Pennsylvania the whole way to Big Fork, Montana, and that took a very long time. And Florida is completely opposite direction. So
I made both drives. It's about a 40-hour drive from here to Florida. From here to PA is about 36.
Yep, 36 to PA. Yep.
Wow.
Well, sorry, Anna, I don't think we could make that happen, but I love to hear that dreamy question. Does anyone else have any additional comments or questions for the good of the group?
I want to say thank you guys for letting me sit in on this. Looking forward to getting to know everybody. Very excited.
Thanks, Lindsay. So this is like the first time that she's had official interactions with our wonderful athletes. So I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I've been with Special Olympics 3 whole weeks, guys.
Oh.
Welcome aboard, Lindsay. Welcome aboard, Lindsay. Star and Jamie.
Thank you.
And do you have a dog on your couch?
Oh yeah, that's Lucy. She's my sidekick, and she cannot figure out why the computer keeps talking to us.
A husky.
She's a Westie. She looks like Toto, but she's white.
There's no place like home. Hi, buddy. I thought I saw an ear.
She's so cute. Well, thanks, Lindsay. Thanks again for being here, everyone. So if we don't have anything else to discuss, just know that it's been a huge honor getting to train you guys through these last 2 sessions, and be sure to reach out to any of the outreach staff if you need additional support, if you just get lonely, need someone to talk to, or if you have brilliant ideas regarding athlete leadership or anything along those lines, just reach out to anyone at the state office, and we want to offer that support for you guys. So awesome.
Thank you, Nancy. Great job tonight. And when is your actual due date again?
So it's the 30th, but I'm gonna be done next Thursday. So I'm wrapping things up.
I love you, Nancy, and I will do my part of that thing for Special Olympics. I want to be on the cover of the magazine.
I love it. Thanks, Jamie. You're the best.
Hey,
Thanks,
Nancy.
everyone. Yeah, what's up, Nick?
Did you get my chat that I sent you?
Yes, I can definitely send you that stuff to your email. I would love to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for using the chat bar so well. I love it. Thanks,
Okay,
Anna. I
goodbye.
appreciate that.
Thank you again, and congratulations. And if your baby does not come out, eat pineapples.
Thanks, Anna.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Talk to you later.
Hi, Nancy.
Have a good one.
That was great.